Hello everybody and welcome back to Saxlingham. So we've just come back from the store of where we've got 4 silage bales, which we could very easily make them ourselves, but I'd rather like to get on this episode and get some cows. I have also had a phone call from our shed builders to say that they're finished. So if we go up here, you will see our very new shed with a workshop. Look at that. I think they've done a very, very good job, especially like the Yorkshire boarding around the side of it all. It's a very, very good company called L&B Modding, which do quite literally fantastic mods, and hopefully we'll see them on the mod hub very, very soon. But right, so we need to. I've just checked the prices. That barley is starting to come down, so we should really have sold that maybe in December. But it's one of those. We should have done, but anyways, we didn't. So we just better get cracked on with what we've got to do. So we are going to, the first job is get it sold before the price drops any more than it already has. There's 60,000 litres. We'll just have to make sure. I'll just have to double check, and it's all to go to the old grain mill. So luckily we don't have too far to travel with it all. But once we've got that done, we can look at sorting our load all, because I want to get rid of the front windscreen on it. Well, not the front windscreen, but the front metal bars. And I would like to put a hitch on the back so we can now just take the trailer with us instead of having to take 2 vehicles, because it does get rather annoying always having to sort of take one and then walk back to go get your other vehicle. But anyways, let's go get all our barley sold quickly, and then we can look to move on. Now the final load of barley. I really need to concrete over that bit of a patch there, because that's I don't like the fact we keep cutting it all the time, but to go the proper way it just seems a bit silly. Right, we'll go get this sold, and then we're going to have a look at customising our telehandler if it's possible. I'm sure we are able to do it. If not, then we'll have to think of something else, because we're also going to have to, because I want to customise it so we can take a bale of silage down, we can put it into this cow pasture, and then in our pickup we can go to the animal dealer and see what they've got for us up there. So like I said, I'm wanting to breed some beef cattle and go and try and get the best genetics possible. And plus I think being beefers, it may be slightly less maintenance for us. Obviously it'll be just the buying, selling and feeding. So there's no milk to lead here, there and everywhere every day or out like that. So that's what's a bit appealing to me. I should probably also admit this is the second time I'm selling this barley. The first time I did it, I meant to, because whenever I do a time lapse, I've got a stream deck, just a nice little small one. I always mute microphone and mute game volume so that when I'm editing I can see where I've done a time lapse. For the first time I was selling the barley, I just pressed pause. So that meant that there was nothing. So anyways, so I put the barley back into the silo, and then I've led it back for you so that you could see the selling of it all, because I didn't want to just sort of go from a trailer full of barley to then going, oops, sold it all, don't have any of the footage. But anyways, so we now have the footage, which I can't be any more honest than that. But right, let's go put this trailer away, and then we will pull the telehandler into our workshop and look at getting that modified. Big question is, where did I leave the telehandler? That's what I don't know at the minute, because it's not in here. We really need to wash the we really need to wash some gear off. Everything's getting a bit mucky now, and it is not over this side. I ain't seen it since we've been driving backwards and forwards selling. Pallet tines are here. Is it up here? There we go. Right, we'll hop into this. That was getting a bit worrying, thinking that we may have misplaced it, or two, someone may have stole it. But yeah, so it's these front bars I want off to make visibility better, and then on the back here, this hitch, we don't seem to be able to attach our Bailey trailer to it, so I'd like to change that and make sure that we can do, because then, likes of Bailey, likes with all the bales, like I said earlier, you know, we're having to take two vehicles. If we can change that, we can just do it with the one. Let's pull through here, and then, like I say, we can finally use our new shed for the first time. I do love this shed. I think it's very, very well made. So let's pull it up near the workshop, and then we can have a look at getting this sorted. Oh, right. Let's now see if that's any better. So we've got our grill off. So that was just a few bolts just to take that off. This was the hard part. I want to make sure that we're attached so we can put anything on. So I've probably gone a bit OTT, but hey ho. We've got two PTOs as well. Very handy piece of kit. So put that on, and we can go and test it out. If we go to our Bailey trailer, up the top in the shed, we can see now if this wants to work for us. We don't want to take the trailer out, but it's just testing it to see. To hop out, this is coming carnage. There's too much stuff laid everywhere at the minute. So let's pull this out. What I may do is go put this into that other shed. Not before, considering we're here. We'll give it a bit of a wash off, which all the water from this washing will go straight down these grills here. And done. So we'll put that away. We'll take this into our new shed, just so this is out the way. We may keep all machinery down in here, because obviously it makes more sense with it being, I should have washed the front weight off. It makes more sense to keep all the machinery down here, whilst we keep all implements up top, because machinery would be what I would imagine needs the most amount of maintenance. So let's turn that off and leave that there. Let's go back up to the telehandler, which is here. To be fair, whilst we're here, I'll unstrap that bale. Okay, that's off now. So that's all ready to go. Let's hop back into here. Ooh, we want to go hide it in the wrong gear. Brilliant. So now we can take trailers with us, so we don't have to rely on two vehicles. So I'm very, very happy about that. And now we'll go to our pasture for our beef cattle. We'll just take the one bale. I would look at taking all these bales down there and storing them, but I don't want to leave them just in the grass so that the cows can get wrapped up in the plastic and whatnot. So I've decided to keep them away. If possible, I can build a shed in there, and then we can keep it in there, but it'll have to be a shed with some doors on, just to make sure that they can't get in. I always remember the first time I drove a telehandler down the road. Nobody told me to take it out of all-wheel steer. And as soon as you get a bit of speed on going down them roads in all-wheel steer, you are going everywhere. So it was a lesson that I had to learn on my own, for no one would tell me to help me out, that when you go on the roads you want to make sure that you're in two-wheel steer, because then that way you won't be sort of flying around all over the place. It gets all your steering back for you. But right, let's get this now. Here we'll jump in cab so you can see. Look how nicer that is, that you can actually see without those grills being in the way. But like I say, when we bought this telehandler with the place, so we can't be beggars can't be choosers of what we were given. So let's put that into there like so, and let's just see, can we get any more in? Oh, we can get a fair amount in there, to be fair. But right, let's take this back to the yard. Let's go get our pickup. We'll go put the livestock trailer on, and we'll go see what there is at the animal dealer. So just leave that there, lower the forks so that no one can trip over them. And like I say, we'll jump into here. We'll just have to put this trailer somewhere. So I think the best place for when it's on level ground will be the most ideal place to leave it. Oh, this pickup's so sensitive, it's so quick and all. So we'll reverse it into this gap here, I think, and then it can just stay there. There I am saying leave it somewhere level, and that's not level at all, and that was shocking driving. I love this pickup, but my, with it being so fast, it's so hard to control at times. But right, let's put this trailer on. And let's get up to the livestock dealer. So I have been told by locals that the dealer, we just need to go around this side here and reverse into here, and then we can have a look at what they've got in. So I'm hoping there's been some decent animals brought for sale, but we'll just have to be very, very careful. So Angus is where we want to be. So let's have a look. So that heifer, that's fairly decent, to be fair. So we'll get that one. That's very good and all, so we'll put that one in, which, how old? 37 months and 48 months. So these are very old, but hopefully they will last us a fair while. And then that one's quite good, and that's coming from China. And how old? 16 months, so we're guessing, oh, we don't want that one. Now let's have a look at the bulls. Quality low, we don't want that. What are these? Okay, so we're just going for the one bull. I think that's all there is really worth to get there out of the Angus. So if we buy the selected, so that's £15,500 just in cows. Let's buy them, and they should now be in our trailer. Look at that, so there's 3 old ones and a slightly younger one. So let's get these back to the farm, and we'll get them into our pasture, where that silage bale should have spread itself out in the feeder for them. Well, this is certainly very exciting, starting to build our herd, our own herd, which there's a lot to be said to having something of your own. So let's just pull through the gate now. And into here. And it should just be a little reverse here. And there we go. So let's select all these. Let's move them into our field. Okay, move selected would be the better button to press to do them all. And there we have it. Our cows. Our first cows. I'm very much looking forward to looking after these. So feed will be, so water's all plumbed into mains, so that's absolutely fine, but it's going to be the feed is going to be the big one, just to always keep an eye on, even if it's just doing a bale sort of every day. That will help out immensely. But let's take all this back to the yard and let's get this put away now, because we won't need it for a day or two. But 15 grand on cattle, that's it's a fair expense, isn't it? But first things first, we can no longer leave this gate open, and because we have the meadow grass, we can no longer cut this grass because we need it to keep for them. But right, see you back at the yard. Right, with that now dropped off, we're going to have a bit of a tidy up. There's stuff being just left, and you look at that, that's dirty, that needs a clean. What's this? That needs a clean. It's a perfect January job. Obviously that needs a clean. This needs a clean. It'll probably need, it may want a service just to make sure it's in top notch, like in the best condition possible. And if it will fit, we'll move it down into our new shed. But I think that's the best thing for us to probably do now, is to wash everything up and get everything serviced, so we're back to 100% capacity. Well, there we have it. So we've repaired the fence, we've repaired the John Deere, we've repaired the Claas, the telehandler. I don't think we've repaired that, which I don't think is too much of a bad thing, so we can leave that as it is. But what we will need to go and do is, on the John Deere, we're going to have to replace its tyres, because if you look, let's just park that there for now. If you look at these tyres, they're about 20% worn and there's plenty of tread on them. Whereas on the John Deere, they're 88% worn and they are starting to go down. So I think, considering we're having a good service of everything, that if we go over here and go on to the John Deere, so to replace the tyres, £2,404. So let's get them replaced. Now look at them, some big bowlers put back on. That will do it the absolute world of good. It almost looks like the Fendt, but because that was bought second hand, that has cost us a fair bit in maintenance. The combine is fully repaired. It's the only thing that we need there is the tyres are 13% worn, so they should do another season. I'd be surprised if they didn't. And then, like I say, if we go over to our telehandler, tyres are 0% worn, that's brilliant. Dirt 45% and damage 6, so this does need a wash. So I ain't turned it off either, so that's a waste of diesel. I'm glad it's Yorkshire boarding in there, because we won't get smoked out by all the fumes. So trailers are all washed and ready. Our grass equipment is washed and ready, which, to be fair, we should really look at in the near future, buying ourselves a windrower and hopefully in time getting a baler. The only problem is for grass and silage for the cows, it's ideal to get a round baler with a wrapper on the back, but that's 100 and some thousand, and then I'd like to get a square baler for the straw, so there's another 100 or some, so you're looking at 300,000 plus just on balers if we were to do that, because I definitely prefer the square ones. Or it's get a square baler and then get a wrapper, but then it means you're just going over the field twice instead of being able to do it once. But right, I think for the last job of the day, let's just get onto our phone and have a look at what money we owe, because I believe we may be able to pay the Fent off, and then that's one less thing coming out every month, and we may be able to pay some of the other equipment off. We're not going to do, we could do the class, I imagine, but I think it may take all of our money. So we'll go for the Fent first. Let's settle early, £74,900, so that's gone. This is almost, that's for the mower, I think. So let's settle that early, like so. And then that's our sprayer. Do we settle that early? Then all we're paying then is just shy of 7,000 a month, which is next to nothing. And then we can, I'm going to do that, settle that early. So now we're down to £34,000. But after this month, there will be a lot of contracts coming in, so we can start to build. Because what my hope is after this harvest, or this sort of this year, we can, instead of focusing on machinery, we can now start focusing on land. That's the big one. So we can really start progressing at that stage then. But right, there is nothing much more to do than to jump into our pickup and head off home. I will get this corner sorted out. We'll get some concrete down or something, just so that it makes it easier for driving. Because if you're going from there to there, if it starts to rain, that's going to become a wet sort of mess. But anyways, like I just said previously, we will get ourselves home and we will see you in February, when hopefully there'll be a lot more contracts available where we can start making ourselves a bit of money. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you've all liked and enjoyed the video, and I will see you again in the next one. Bye for now.